Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money, the Worry-Free Retirement, with your host, nationally recognized retirement specialist and four-time author, Tony Walker.
Welcome, folks, to the Worry-Free Retirement. And yes, I am that little man in the sweater vest, retirement planning specialist, 401k rollover specialist, and I think all-around good guy, Tony Walker. And welcome to the Worry-Free Retirement. And with us in the studio is not America's favorite financial sidekick. No, we've got producing the show, Louisville, Kentucky's most laid-back graphics artist. I did keep the mic off of him today for various reasons because he's got a lot on his plate here. But just as importantly, we've got my favorite son-in-law, Mr. Trey Juergens, and he is all mic'd up. Good morning, Trey.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on. And it's kind of interesting. Aaron Orander is here today, and he said, hey, by the way, when you record this show, Tony, it's actually going to be broadcast the week of Christmas.
Gotta love that.
Isn't that crazy? Because right now, folks, as you know, we do record these shows ahead of time. Today's date, November 17th, 2021. I had somebody the other day that watches the TV program a lot, and they go, how come you're always giving the date? And I said, sir, no offense, but you don't realize how volatile the markets are. I mean, we could be sitting here having a big old time, and by the time this show's on, well, the markets could be crashing or going up 4,000 points. I don't know. So there is a reason we give the date because of the nature of economics. Things are kind of time sensitive, but thank you for joining us. And we hope if you've already had Christmas or having Christmas, wherever you're located, we hope you've had a wonderful holiday season. Okay, Trey, I wanted you in the studio. The show I recorded earlier with Aaron dealt with uncertainty, and we finished up the many C's to a Worry-Free Retirement. The reason I wanted you on, we had a Make Good workshop. That's what I'm calling this now. I guess it was last week or 2 weeks ago. When did we go to E-Town? See, I've already forgotten.
Last Monday.
Last Monday.
8th, yep.
Yeah, what we did, folks, last year when the pandemic, when all heck broke loose, we had a workshop scheduled in E-Town on March 17th, 2020. I always felt bad because we had to cancel it. So we had a Make Good workshop in E-Town just the other day. It had a good turnout, and it was really a good workshop, really good workshop. And it was really dealing with all the uncertainty going on. So what we thought we would do today is really share with you, and when I do workshops, we don't offer free dinner. Did we even have free water there? I don't think we had water, did we? People were pretty parched.
It's pretty bare bones.
Yeah, it's pretty bare bones. But we don't buy free steak dinner. I tell you, hey, folks, you eat a free steak dinner at one of these dinner seminars. 6 hours later, you're hungry. We're going to give you financial food that'll last a lifetime. Let's first talk about that workshop because it was very interesting. Just impressions. We'll get into all the questions we had, but your impression, Trey, after the workshop, and then I opened the floor up for questions. How long were the question answers? At least 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Almost 40 minutes.
Oh, was it 40?
It was more of a focus group. You called it a workshop, but I think we got more feedback of just the general uncertainty of savers right now, whether it's inflation, stock market risk. They just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so your theme would be what? So those 30 people or so sitting there collectively, how do they feel right now collectively, you think?
Totally unsure.
Just unsure about the future. And I would agree with that. I think, and folks, I'm not a Debbie Downer kind of fella. I'm not trying to be gloom and doom here. I'm just, as Trey said, kind of sharing almost, if you would, a focus group, what we learned from people and all the people I met. I think I had 20 appointments yesterday in Louisville. You see a lot of people. I mean, I know this week I'm scheduled to see 40 people this week. And that's in person. So, a lot of people get on TV and radio and they're trying to give you their opinions, but they don't have their hand on the pulse of savers like we do. So folks, what I'm getting ready to share with you, these questions, I guarantee if you're a saver, one of those persons out there that's more concerned about the return of your money than on it, and you're not an investor or speculator, if you're sitting there right now, I guarantee this program is going to resonate with you. So what we thought we would do, we're just going to jump right into it. So again, I gave my basic presentation, the 6 C's to a worry-free retirement. That was probably 30 minutes. As Trey said, we went into this huge, long question and answer session, and that lasted more than the workshop, which I was happy to do. So, Trey, in no particular order, I know what you were doing. You were taking notes during that workshop. Let's go through a few of those questions, and let's answer those to the best of our ability in the time limited that we have today.
Yeah. I'll jump right in. This first one is actually really profound, the way that he brought it up. He said, Tony, I've got to admit, while inflation, that's number one concern, and stock market scare the absolute heck out of me, I owe a lot to what I have in my 401k to both of those things. But what should I do now?
Okay, so yeah, I'm like you, Trey. That kind of stopped me in my tracks. I thought, that was really good. So what this gentleman's saying, okay, his question was basically what got me there, he's worried it's not going to keep him there. So it is ironic. Inflation, you have to understand something, folks. One reason, it's not the only reason, but one of the main reasons the stock market, as we record this show in November 2021, is going through the roof is because of all the free money being pumped into the economy. Folks, it all gets down to earnings and profits. If you, let's say you're a store owner. Okay, let's talk about it this way. You're a store owner, and you got to have store traffic, right, Trey? You got to have people spending money. You know, you can't, if you don't sell anything, you can't make any money. Well, of those people who a year and a half ago had a little bit of money coming in, they could spend a little bit of money at your store, which means you have a little bit of earnings, a little bit of profits. The price of your stock, let's say, is okay. You with me so far?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, all of a sudden, if you have millions and millions of people who have been handed hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to spend, and most of them are sitting home not doing much, now do you think they've got an opportunity to come over and maybe spend more at your store?
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Cha-ching, cha-ching. Now, here's another element I'm going to add to this that I haven't heard any financial pundits talk about and why the stock market is going up. So now you got free money flowing like crazy. People, listen closely, folks, businesses are cutting back on staff. No overhead or little overhead, no FICA taxes, right? If you don't have people working. Now, again, I'm not trying to, I know a lot of you are struggling out there running businesses. I'm just talking about the global situation with stock prices. So now, if I have more people spending money with me and I have less overhead, I've actually got better earnings and my stock prices go up. So folks, here's the problem. This is what this gentleman's saying. Because of inflation, because of all this printing of money, because that has resulted in one big reason, in my opinion, the stock market's gone up. What he's saying is, this can't last forever, can it?
Right.
And I would agree with him and say, no, sir, none of this makes sense. It can't, what goes up that quickly, at some point it's got to go down. Now, keep in mind, folks, our main clientele, we got Derek sitting over there. Derek, are you okay sharing your age with everybody? How old are you? 29. Okay. You're only a little over 30, aren't you?
32.
Yeah. Okay. So you all, I know you may be worried if you had money in the stock market, it went down, but that's not really affecting your life now, right? You're not living on any earnings from your stock market.
Nope. Not right now.
You don't even, yeah, not right now. But this guy's sitting out there and everybody else was probably 60 to 65, most of them, right? Okay. Well, he's worried sick. He knows if all of a sudden what got him there, inflation and high stock prices, which look great on paper, right, folks? This is just on paper. If we have another 2008 and we have deflation or whatever and stock markets tumble and earnings go down, he knows that he's in deep doo-doo. So I think, Trey, rather than answering the man's question, he just kind of answered it for us. And the point is, as you get older, folks, as you sit here and get into retirement and he stops working at some point and he doesn't have a paycheck coming in, he can't rely on that money. He knows that. It's not guaranteed. So therein lies the problem. So next question, Trey.
Yeah, next question was actually the same gentleman, which is interesting. He kind of answered his own question with the first thing. The problem was he was so unsure of the financial world trying to take care of him. He didn't have much trust of advisors. He knew that he could trust a paycheck coming in. He just couldn't figure out how to turn his retirement savings into income.
That's right. I remember that now. And so it's right back, two very good points he made. It's right back to what gets you there may not keep you there. So what he said, he added to that, I remember this now. He said, the one thing that got me here, as far as that I'm confident in, I think that's really where he was going, are these hands. I think he even said that. I'm a hard worker. Really, I worked hard to produce the money that went in the stock market. And so if I stop working, this is his two-part question or concern, not only could the market crash, and there I am, but if I stop working, these hands stop working, that's really what got him to the dance. So again, folks, this is why I think he was worried about the trust issue. Now, we'll tell you this. I don't know if I told you this. He and his wife did come in to see me. And when he walked in the door, you know what I said to him? I said, "Oh, you're here to see if I can build your trust, huh?" Because I remember him at the workshop saying, "I don't know if I can trust you. How do I know if I can trust you?" So that's the second part, Trey. Not only are people, quote, not trusting of the stock market, not trusting of the government printing all this money, they don't trust us.
Yep.
So it's a huge dilemma for savers. So we're going to cover some more questions. I'm going to take a quick break, but when I come back, I want to talk a little bit about us as fiduciaries, our game plans, and in fact, we may go to Heather Hughes in our Bowling Green office for a quick Zoom call on this, because I want to address this, because this whole trust issue, who can you trust with your money? Who really knows this retirement game like we do? We've done over 5,000 game plans. Yep. I mean, we know this world so well, folks, and there are so many people jumping into this world hungry for your money that, quite frankly, I'm concerned a lot of them don't know this world very well. They might know it better than you do, and they might have you fooled, but a lot of these people, folks, it concerns me that you're giving them all of your money without what we call a written game plan. So when we return, me and Trey are going to talk about that. We're going to show you how to put yourself in more control and build more confidence with a written game plan and what that all entails with Tony Walker Financial. You're listening to The Worry-Free Retirement. I'll be right back.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Worry-Free Music presents the greatest collection of Christmas covers ever assembled.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Hey!
Tony Walker's A Humdinger Christmas. 486 timeless classics across 6 digitally remastered 8-track tapes.
Happy holidays.
Every song fills your home with holiday magic.
Sing ding-a-ding, ring ding-a-ding, ding ding-a-ding, dong ding-a-ding, ring ding-a-ding, ding ding-a-ding, ring ding-a-ding, ring ding-a-ding.
Don't miss this opportunity to receive Tony Walker's A Humdinger Christmas, the perfect way to celebrate the joy of this holiday season.
Dashing through the snow, hey, and 1-horse open sleigh, yeah.
Only $685 plus $3 shipping and handling. Order yours today.
8-track tape player not included. Offer void where prohibited.
And from all of us at Tony Walker Financial, have a Merry Christmas.
Welcome back, folks, to the Worry-Free Retirement. This is the favorite son-in-law, Trey Juergens, full-time fiduciary here in the Louisville office. And Tony, I've got another question that we've actually been seeing a lot more. Somebody took advantage of the high housing prices right now, and they downsized. Tony, I sold my home, and I've got some proceeds sitting in the bank making next to nothing. What is something risk-free that I can do to earn some decent interest? CDs aren't even worth my trouble right now.
I remember that question. So folks, if you're just now joining us, we're just kind of reiterating some of the wonderful questions and unfortunately concerns that many savers have when we conducted a workshop several weeks ago in Elizabethtown. By the way, I know we used to do tons and tons of workshops. We're not going to get back on that right now. This workshop we had in E-Town was really a makeup from last year. Fortunately, we've rely on our TV show and radio show. And what we always tell people, folks, if you go to these dinner seminars, you're still going to have to go meet with somebody. The dinner seminars and all this advertising is a ploy to get you to sit down and take your financial clothes off. That's all that is. So whether it's us or them, at some point you still have to meet with somebody. That's why on this show we're always reminding you, if you want to talk to us by phone or meet with us, just go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. We'll be happy to talk with you. But at some point, again, there's no free lunch. You go to these dinner seminars, they are going to want to sit down and talk to you. So basically, here's what we're seeing. People come to us, Trey. It used to be you could get 4, 5, 6% of the bank. Let me name some categories this would fit in. That one, they sold a house. A lot of people are selling their rental property. They're tired of renting all these homes they've accumulated over there. They got rental property they've sold. Sold a business. Here's a big one. Just received an inheritance.
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing that a lot. So nevertheless, you get this money, you run over the local bank, which is fine, and you plop it in a bank account. And they say, thank you very much. They don't even give you a free toaster, no more S&H green stamps, and very little interest. And you're like, wait a minute. So then Another reason probably the stock market's high. People say, well, whatever, I guess I'll throw it over here in the market and hope for the best. Well, if you're a saver, that's kind of scary. So where can you put it? In comes these wonderful products called fixed annuities that we are known around the country for. So we won't go into details about that, but let me just share this with you folks. If you've got a bunch of money, now we don't want to put all your money in an annuity, but I'm just saying if you've got a bunch of money sitting on the sidelines, money that you want to protect, money that you hope to get some decent interest or growth on without any risk to principal, zero, you need to consider a fixed annuity. Now, the best thing to do is download our Annuities Made Easy guide. You can get that one of two ways. Go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, click on the download section, and download. We got all kinds of stuff on the download section, but downloads Annuities Made Easy. We've also got a cool booklet, Mailbox Money Made Easily, for those that hear about me talk about mailbox money. And then the second thing you can do is just call us. If you don't have access to the internet, we'll be happy to mail you a free copy. We promise I won't send Trey over to your doorstep to hound you. All you got to do there is just call 877-499-9255, 877-499-WALK, and just tell the folks that answer the phone that you'd like us to mail you a free copy of Annuities Made Easy, and if you like, Mailbox Money Made Easy as well. Okay, so let's get back to the original thought we had, and this is this notion of what do we do at Tony Walker Financial to build this trust and gain the trust, which I think you and I agree, Trey. When we walked away from that workshop, it's a 5-letter word, starts with T, trust.
Yep.
I mean, and I get it. I mean, again, I promised this would not be a political show, but I'm getting where I don't trust people either. I'm getting where I don't trust people with my money. I don't trust people making decisions for me. Getting tired of everybody telling me what to do. So who can you trust? Well, the first thing you have to do is let's just talk about being a fiduciary. Now, I will say this. There's been a few things I've seen from some of my friendly fiduciary contemporaries out there that haven't really built a lot of trust in them. So just because somebody's a fiduciary, all a fiduciary is, in fact, since you're our chief compliance officer, take a stab at that. How would you define a fiduciary and really what's going on in terms of the law and the requirements of a fiduciary? Take a stab at that for the layman out there that's never heard that term.
Yeah, so a fiduciary is an advisor that by law is required to work in your best interest, not necessarily told what to do by a company. There might be an advisor that represents a company you've met with, but they're actually kind of told what to do by that company. We work directly for these savers. We represent several companies, and we build a plan around their situation, not the products we're told to push.
Yeah. So let's use an example. So we use Charles Schwab. That's who we put our money through. Oh, yesterday it was hilarious. A gentleman, I think he's probably going to work with us, but I was meeting with him. He and his wife, this second meeting we've had, no pressure, we're talking. And he got up, he goes, well, this sounds pretty good, but I got a question. What happens if something happens to you? And we've had that how many times this somebody? I said, sir, I've got all that mapped out. When I die, not if I die. And he's standing right at me, he goes, I'm not talking about dying. He said, I'm talking about you ended up in an orange jumpsuit somewhere behind bars. That's why I started laughing. He said, don't take it personal now. And I said, you're talking about the old Bernie Madoff syndrome. He goes, exactly. What if you turn into a Bernie Madoff? Folks, we do not have custody over your funds. So let's say you open up an account or roll your 401k over. You don't make a check out, and we don't call the custodian and say, yeah, make that check to Tony Walker Financial. Many of you have made that mistake, and the Bernie Madoffs know that. So first of all, make sure before any money goes to a custodian, you know who it is, and it has no affiliation with the advisor. That's what a fiduciary has to do. So Schwab is a custodian. We have no relation to Schwab other than agreements of what we can and can't do. But folks, when you turn your money over, let's say you roll over a 401k to us, usually we send it to Schwab first and then we disperse it according to the annuities we might set up. But let's say it's a $500,000 401k. Who's the check made out to when it comes from, is it made out to us or Schwab?
Charles Schwab for benefit of Joe Saver.
That's right. And nowhere mentioned is even Tony Walker on the check, right? Mm-hmm. Then the check goes to Schwab. We handle all that for you. We set up the accounts and everything, and you do give us discretion to pick the investments. But Schwab is really in control of that money. If we were to call Schwab and say, hey, Schwab, it's Tony here on the line. How you doing over there, partner? Send me a check, me and my wife, out of that Johnson account for $500,000. Well, they would laugh like that. They would go, what are you talking about, Tony? You don't have control over this account. We do. And the client does. So folks, first of all, by being a fiduciary, by being independent, you having your money with all of these custodians and insurance companies, we personally don't ever touch that money that goes to Tony. It never goes in our bank account. So you have that assurance right there. The second thing on a trust basis is really and truly the way we have set up our organization. I think it's really cool the way this is all playing out. And 10 years ago, I admit, I kind of worried. If something happens to me, I'm killed in a car accident out here on I-65 running up and down these roads. There weren't many people behind me. I had Connie, Heather, and one other staff member. Mm-hmm. And Heather wasn't really even a fiduciary then. So she would have had to have gotten licensed to handle the investments. I mean, it would have been a mess. So now we have you're licensed properly, you're a fiduciary, all regulated under the government auspices. Heather in the Bowling Green office, which we'll be talking to her in just a second. We have my favorite nephew, Wes, in the Lexington office. So in all three offices, Louisville, Bowling Green, and Lexington, I've got these salaried fiduciaries, including you. So when, not if, something happens to me, our clients know that, hey, this process that I've got through Tony will continue to be monitored and maintained through somebody else. Mm-hmm. What would you say is the biggest concern, Trey, that you've seen when somebody comes in, and we've seen this sometimes, and their advisor, and it's no fault of the advisor necessarily, but the advisor leaves the firm and goes to another firm?
They're being told something totally different from the first advisor.
There you go. Or the new advisor comes on and goes, what in the heck's going on here? We need to change this up.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a huge concern that you have to be aware of. Many of you do not have a process. You don't have a written game plan. And I'm telling you, sooner or later, that advisor you like, as much as you like them and as good as they are, they're either going to retire, they're going to die, they're going to become disabled, or they'll move firms. They'll switch firms. And when that happens, when they move over and bounce around on you and go to these other firms or change banks or whatever, you're the one that's going to have to be in the position to start making new decisions. And most of our clients don't like that. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah. They like the plan. They want to stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan, yeah. Unless there's a reason to really change it. But just because some advisors moved and want you to change the plans, that's not working in your best interest. Anything else you can think of in that light, Trey, what we're talking about?
Yeah, I think in that light, us being salaried fiduciaries, you obviously take great care of us financially as your employees, but a lot of these other advisors that might step in are looking for a commission. So they're going to try to find you a new product or something flashy. Me, Wes, Heather, none of us are paid any commissions on any products we sell. So it's really no incentive for us to change up the plan. We're all trained by that plan, and our decisions would really align with anything you'd say in the first place.
And also, we always disclose our commissions and fees. So like, for instance, with Schwab, we're fully transparent. We charge 0.8%. Any money we manage with Schwab, there's not a bunch of gotcha fees and all that. Our commissions with annuities, we even share the commissions with people. A lot of people hide those commissions from people. We will tell you what the insurance companies pay us in the way of commissions before you buy a product. We put that in writing. So that way, now there's no conflict of interest there because, we shop the companies. We're not beholden to one company. I guess we're probably, depending on what's going on, Heather probably researches. We can't represent all insurance companies. There's hundreds of them, but we're probably consistently looking at 8 to 10, aren't we? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I was going to say 7 to 8, but yeah, we shop those companies and rates consistently.
Yeah, so we're trying to get the company and product we think's right for you, not necessarily what happens to just be paying the biggest commission. So I thought what we would do, Trey, I want to get Heather on the Zoom call here because I think what a lot of people say, okay, Tony, that sounds good, but let's hear from somebody in your office, the Bowling Green office, which really that's where most of the, I like to say the legwork really takes place once people, become a client or once a prospective client wants to see a game plan. I have 10 full-time employees in the Bowling Green office. So what I thought we'd do is go to Heather and give us her perspective on what she sees meeting day in and day out with existing clients and their confidence in us to keep them worry-free. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
All right, let's get after it. Well, good morning, Heather.
Good morning, Tony. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. And thank you so much for being with us. And as we talked, our theme is how to get more confidence in your future by being in more control. And what I wanted you to do is speak briefly to 2 issues that we have come up. First of all, a lot of times after I spend time with a client during that second meeting where I provide their assessment, in many cases, you'll follow back up with them. So speak to, I guess, first of all, how appreciative they are that we follow up, but any confidence they might be sharing with you about our process as they learn more about what we do at Tony Walker Financial.
Oh, absolutely. So typically I follow up within 1 to 2 weeks of them meeting with you, just to check in to see if they have any questions over the plan you presented. But some of the feedback that I always get is that, one, they've never really seen a game plan laid out for them for retirement. And so that's always new, and they appreciate all the effort and work we've put in prior to that. And then two, that the fact that they're no longer a number. So we're checking into them to see their, how they're doing. If they have any personal questions on all of that, they need further explanation, I'm there to, hopefully alleviate some fears or any kind of questions that they may have.
Oh, you're so helpful in that regard. Thank you so much. And then secondly, let's imagine somebody decides to join the ranks with Tony Walker and Financial and become a client, and 3 years goes by and we're servicing their accounts and everything, but then all of a sudden something changes. Maybe there's something that happens in their retirement nobody could plan for, and then hopefully the confidence they feel when they call us, knowing we can call up that game plan and jump into action.
Absolutely. So, one thing's for sure is life changes. So with our proprietary software, we're allowed to make those changes, tweak their plan as things come up. So it may be they retire sooner than anticipated, they get an inheritance. You never know. So, we're allowed in that software to make the changes to accompany whatever they're going through with life right now.
And we talk about this a lot. Can you imagine if we didn't have that proprietary software? I know when you started years ago with me, you had to do those long spreadsheets. But speak to also the fact that people, at least the feedback I get, and I know you get it too, but just how easy it is for them to finally understand what it is they have and then how they're going to use and enjoy this money.
Oh, sure. So, they finally have something on a one page that's like lists all of their assets, when to start accessing funds from which account, and it all makes sense to them. And then they can kind of see the end result too. That's one thing that we always strive for with retirement planning. We don't want them to run out of money. And so this is a way for them to see that we can actually accomplish that goal for them.
Well, speaking of confidence, Heather, it allows me, I see a lot of people each week. I think as we record this show in mid-November 2021, I think I got 40 appointments this week or something. But believe me, it helps me so much to know that we have the people like yourself and Trey and Wes and all the staff that can be there for them. So first of all, I just appreciate you so much being there for our clients and all of the service work that you oversee there in the Bowling Green office. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, have a good day.
Thanks. You too. Take care.
Will do. With the stock market at all-time highs, our nation's debt through the roof, and inflation racing out of control, now may be the best time to consider safeguarding your money. That's why I'm offering to review your 401k and other retirement accounts to be sure that you aren't taking too much risk and you're not going to run out of money. To set up your free meeting with me, simply log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and let's get started.
Tired of the financial world chasing after your money? Dinner seminar invitations? Annoying pop-up ads on your computer from out-of-state advisors? It all adds up to confusion. There is a better way. Meet in person with nationally recognized retirement specialist Tony Walker. Tony's personal one-on-one approach has helped thousands of savers worry less about money, and best of all, Tony's right in our own backyard. Don't leave your retirement to chance. Make the short drive to meet in person with Tony now. To get started, simply log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
Warning, a licensed insurance agent with no prior knowledge of annuities can legally toss your 401k into an annuity. Don't get stuck in the wrong annuity. Get a second opinion from TonyWalkerFinancial.com. All right, and there you can see, folks, why I'm so confident in our staff, confident in Mr. Trey Juergens, which, by the way, thank you for joining us, Trey.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And, of course, all the folks there at Tony Walker Financial. We welcome your call. We welcome the opportunity to talk to you. And best of all, to find out more about our organization or even meet in person to see how we might be able to help you. It's absolutely free, no cost or obligation. All you got to do is log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, TonyWalkerFinancial.com, or give us a call, 877-499-9255. That's 877-WALK. Well, you remember, between now and next week, between now and the time we talk, if all else fails, you be worry-free. Make it a good one.